I'm out here on a ranch road. You can see it's all just prairie behind me. Just along the South Platte. I'm about 13 miles or so, I guess, west of Sterling, Colorado. A place called Merino, Colorado. It's the closest little small town to us. Just gonna walk up this ranch road a little bit. I want to talk about what's known as the American Ranch Raid. 14th of January, 1865. So cold winter. The Platte River is frozen. Normally this would not be a season in which people are doing a lot of moving about, but it happens to be a period during which Lakota and Cheyenne warriors were raiding in this area. So we're in eastern Colorado. At the time this was not part of the Colorado territory, this was still part of the Kansas territory. This little corner of Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska. And this was, of course, traditional home to Cheyenne, Lakota, Arapaho peoples. As you can see, it's open grassland, so a lot of buffalo herds here at that time. But it's also good country for ranching, so farmers had moved in. One of the ranches in the neighborhood was owned by the Morris family, Bill and Sarah Morris, down on the Platte River, and was known as American Ranch. So on the morning of the 14th of January 1865, two of the ranch hands, ranch hand Gus Hall and another ranch hand known to history as Big Steve, great name, but set out early that morning to cross the Platte and cut timber. And they ran into a war party of 100 plus Lakota Cheyenne warriors. I'm not sure if there were any Arapaho, but predominantly Lakota Cheyenne warriors that had been raiding ranches in the area for several days. They jumped the two ranch hands. Big Steve was killed on the spot. Hall was wounded, severely wounded, but managed to hold himself up in a riverbank. And the war party moved on. The war party moved on to American Ranch itself, attacked the ranch. So resident of the ranch were, of course, Bill and Sarah Morris, the family that owned the ranch, their two young boys, and a number of ranch hands. The war party clearly outnumbered them. They attacked the ranch. They set fire to the stables, the barn, set fire to the hay store, and then fired the main building. So when the main building was fired and defense of that became untenable, the family, Norris family and the ranch hands, made a break for the corral, perhaps hoping to grab some horses and attempt to flee. But between the open ground of the main house and the corral, they were cut down by gunfire and arrow fire from the war party. There were some survivors. Sarah Morris was taken captive. Both of her sons were taken captive, although one of them would be killed later. And the war party had fired the property, taken whatever horses that they wanted, and moved on. Now Gus Hall had survived 2 wounds, shot to his leg, I believe, and an arrow wound across his chest. He emerged from hiding, made his way to the Platte, which I said was January. It was cold, partially frozen. Made his way downriver about 12 miles to the Wisconsin ranch, next big ranch down the river. That too had been raided by a war party and destroyed. This is he's wounded, he's cold, he doesn't know where he is. Well, he knows where he is, but he doesn't know where the help's coming to him. So he manages to find part of the grain store at the Wisconsin ranch that had been burned and was still smouldering a little bit, and so he lay upon that for warmth. And then that's where a rescue party of American soldiers found him later that day. Soldiers moved on to the burning ruins of American Ranch, where they counted the bodies. And as I said, Sarah Morris and her 2 sons had been taken prisoner, but they counted, as well as Bill Morris, her husband, 6 ranch hands had also been killed there. They found the bodies of 3 Native Americans, not dead from gunshots, but lying dead next to whiskey bottles. And it had been said that Morris had said that he would lace whiskey bottles with strychnine, so he left out poisoned whiskey bottles, so that if they were ever attacked by the Native Americans, and the Native Americans stole his whiskey, it wasn't really his whiskey, it was poisoned whiskey, and that would kill them afterwards. And so, you know, the speculation goes that after they'd cut everybody down and, you know, sorted through the camp and the ruins of the American ranch and picked up what they could to take away, they found some whiskey bottles, drank deeply of that poisoned whiskey, and that's where the 3 casualties on the Native American side came from. So that's the American Ranch Raid, 14th of January 1865, here at Merino. You can see I'm really just off of, back up there, US 76. But you take a step off of US 76 and you are cattle grates and grazing land. So we're actually here on the, you know, in Merino, Colorado. Don't want to fall down this cattle grate, that'll be amusing, wouldn't it, me breaking my ankle. Talking about the American Ranch Raid of January 1865. One of many during that winter period, 1865.